Alrighty.
Okay.
Thank you everybody for attending tonight's AMA. We have Pluto Inu on deck, and I would like for you guys to one by one introduce yourselves and who you are, and as a part of the team for Pluto Inu.
Alrighty, so I guess
yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and start. I am the CEO of Pluto Inu. I deployed the contract originally and came up with the idea for this platform that we've been building. I've ran several tokens before. This is the first truly long-term and product token that I built, and we're really trying to provide a lot of value to the space, not just from a meme aspect, but with actual utility that we feel is very needed on ETH.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Yep. So I'll give a short, brief intro of myself. Snowball speaking, by the way. So I joined Hobo basically like after he launched the token. I have a group of 7 developers. We are basically in charge of developing the tool itself. Many of us, like I would say, most of us are whales, you could say. We have been in crypto forever. And we have been asking ourselves, why is there no real good DeFi tool in the market? And especially, why is there no mempool connected chart in the market? So I've prepared like a small presentation to show, like, if you want, before you ask us questions, I will like show you what is it we do. I think it would be better this way if you don't mind.
Gotcha. No, I mean, we like to get to know the team.
Sure, no problem.
And no worries. It's more, just kind of doing a broad overview. And in terms of explaining, what you guys are doing. So what was brought up by Hobo was, that this is his first long-term value project. So, what made you come to that, consensus of, hey, I see this opportunity, I'm going to pursue this. What was that journey like to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, really, it all started from, I don't know, I've made a lot of money and lost a lot of money buying tokens on ETH, right? And I know there's plenty that are in a similar situation that I am, where you're in the new DexPairs Telegram bot, right? And you'll just ape random tokens as soon as they come out. You'll get rugged maybe 4 out of 5 times. But I mean, there's always that one time that you hit a random 100x, right? And it's all just kind of luck. But it's a method, I guess, right? And essentially, I got tired of being rugged all the time. And a lot of the guys that I run around with in crypto, they felt the same way. And we really felt like there was a lack of a tool to kind of circumvent that and really help people that trade in a similar way just make the most informed decision they can.
Gotcha. So how does your tool allow for us to make that informed decision? If you could take us through that.
Yeah, essentially. So, I mean, as far as making sure something is safe, right? Like we've got the dev wallet tracker. And as Snowball was saying, that is completely connected to the mempool. And so there's around a 0.01 millisecond delay between when the transaction is queued and when it shows up on our tool. And we also provide the gas details. So essentially, like if a developer is pulling liquidity, you'll see that queued as soon as it happens, and it'll give you the gas details. And so with that information, you're actually able to like manually front run rugs, as well as like tax changes or malicious transactions of the sort.
Gotcha.
And it really, you don't have to sit there refreshing Etherscan. Like,
got it. So is there any other, in terms of competition, is there anybody that offers something, from a, you mentioned that this really provides like your newcomer or those that, maybe don't know how to gain access to, I believe the mempool is where you're pulling your data from. Is there anybody else that's doing something similar to what you guys are here?
I don't believe that anyone is pulling from the mempool. I know Moonarch recently launched on ETH, but with the mempool charts that we're coming out with, as well as some of the other features that we're going to be coming out with, I don't see them being competition for long.
Gotcha. Yeah, one thing I've noticed about you guys is how quickly you've been moving and taking that original wallet tracker and now displaying here, building charts in the future. I think that's fairly promising. I guess the question that comes to the top of my mind is, how do you think you're going to be able, do you see being first to market with a tool like this? And then with that, how do you plan on, achieving adoption of your tool? And what methods do you believe would be useful there?
Well, currently our tool is free, right? And it's currently planned for February 6th to make it not free, but we may extend that. And really the purpose of it being free is to push adoption, right? We want users to be able to get a taste of it. So far, there's been a lot of word of mouth. We've started marketing, except, this market, or at least these market conditions, marketing is relatively hard, but nonetheless, we're still going at that. We've got plenty of callers. We just had, right before this AMA, we had the Kuma dev in our chat, like, so hyped, and he bought in and called, and so we've got plenty of connections to callers. We're working on Twitter influencers. I recently gave a Chinese marketing guy that I've used in previous projects a big sum of money, and so we're going to be pushing this quite internationally. We also have a YouTube channel, and we are intending to upload pretty consistent content to that, almost in like not only will we have tutorials and kind of methods of how you can use Pluto Inu to your advantage, but we also intend to just provide a steady stream of content in the kind of like a podcast form with some of the team.
Got it. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. In terms of marketing on Telegram, I'm definitely not the expert there. Do you see kind of going out into other spaces to generate that word of mouth and just give general awareness of a lot of people just didn't realize how a blockchain operates and where you can pull data from, right? So how do you transcend that message of value to those who maybe want to get into DeFi, have that safer experience? Is there any particular messaging or branding that you guys plan on doing in the future to kind of extend that message?
This might actually be a good question for Snoople.
Well, yeah, I don't mind. How about you want to respond? I can respond.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, real quickly. We actually uploaded our Git book yesterday, and that takes a pretty deep dive into precisely the value that we provide being connected to the mempool and the advantage that offers to traders. It's also our intentions to have a kind of like a DeFi 101 guide available on our website, along with the release of the mempool charts.
Got it. No, that's so. Sorry, I think in between there you mentioned something in terms of where, I guess. Sorry, it was one of the things you were mentioning. I guess I just missed it, but it was whatever other than the DeFi 101 was what you mentioned there.
The Git book.
Gotcha. Okay. And then with that, my last question is, so where did Pluto come from? Where did that name stem from? And do you see continuing under that name in the future?
Originally Pluto Inu was going to be a meme token under the branding of like Pluto the dog, but also Pluto the planet. right? And we launched. Things died down for 2 weeks. Nothing was really happening, and I just had the idea for this tool, so we ran with it, and here we are. As far as sticking with that name, I'm not gonna go into any details about that, but that is not set in stone, is what I'll say.
It's something on the team's radar that we're definitely aware of, that we're probably going to shift gears, but that's later on. The first thing that we kind of want to do is really get the tool like perfect, and so that way we deliver on our promises to the community, and then we can start kind of looking into that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's so to kind of take off, I'll let the team take over after this, but I've been watching you guys from afar and analyzing, how quickly you've been moving. And honestly, the technology is what's kept me there. And when I bring up the name to people outside, they quickly turn away from it, and they're quick to not see that value. So I see it as a a decent filtering tool for you guys to bring the people that see that value of what you're building prior to raising, I guess, the brand awareness. So kudos to you guys and the technology that you're developing. And with that, Michael, if you'd like to take over, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yo, Michael. Going good. Going good.
So I guess my first question to start off with is, how does the team make their money? I'm looking at the white paper and I see the breakdown of the 3% dev, 3% marketing, 4% liquidity, and the goal being to drop to 1% to incentivize volume. So can you kind of walk me through these tokenomics and the evolution that you guys are looking for Pluto to make to ultimately drop the taxes? And from where we are now to when the taxes get dropped, walk me through how the team is able to get paid. Or do you guys have tokens? Did you guys personally buy into your project? Kind of walk me through that from now to that 1% goal.
Yeah, so essentially, the team has bought tokens. We just bought on the open market like everyone else has. Furthermore, we do have some ad placement spots on our website. So we imagine that once traction really picks up, we'll start getting some ad revenue flowing in. And, really bringing it down to 1% is going to be a matter of when, I guess to take a step back, the development team, like as far as Snowball and his team, like they have put in amazing work. And, they have not, financially, they have not been compensated enough for that work, So when I feel like the development team has been compensated fairly for their work, and once Pluto becomes rather self-sufficient as a utility, as the tool it provides alongside the ad revenue that we'll bring in, I feel like that's when we'll drop the taxes down to 1%. And even that will provide a small amount of revenue, just because, let's see, for example, we've got 64,000 volume today, 10% of that. So that's $6,000. Eventually we want it to get to the point where PLINU is a household name and we're getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of volume every day. And so like lowering that tax to 1% really would be quite negligible in the grand scheme of things.
By the way, if I can add a note here. So as they said earlier, when we jumped on board with Hobo for PLINU, we actually came in around like the 300K market cap. And that's kind of when the dev team, there's 7 of us total on Snoople's team. That's really when we bought our team, our individual personal tokens. And yeah, at the end of the day, what it's going to come down to is as we scale with growth, that's, when we're going to start lowering taxes, looking to get listed on exchanges. And it's going to be a gradual, growth thing, but it's definitely something. Just looking at the chart, you can see that it's it's going to get there. And, part of it too is definitely that, there's a lot of eyes on PLINU. Like you said, you've been watching it for a while, and that what you said kind of intrigued me, because I've noticed a lot of people are kind of looking from the outside in, and they're waiting to see like, hey, is this dev team going to deliver? The name kind of puts me off a bit, so I have a feeling once we release the charts and all the updates we've promised, and some of the other things we have planned moving forward, it's definitely going to kind of be like a everything coming together beautifully at the end. And at that point, we'll see where we land as far as market cap, and I'm sure we'll definitely probably decrease not only the taxes, but also the tokens that you need to hold in order to use the tool, right? Because at the current moment, once the tool is no longer free to use and you have to hold tokens to use it, obviously as we grow over time, we're going to have to scale the amount of tokens down so that we don't make the tool, price out the tool out of the market for some new investors.
I like that. I like the vision behind what you're creating, and it seems as though you guys have really thought about it, especially the way that you've answered how the team's getting paid and how that is coming back. I personally love when projects tell me that they've bought into their own project. I think that is a very impressive and professional way to display that you believe in what you're creating, right? You have actual skin in the game for what you're developing, and ultimately we can look at these projects as startups, and for you to reinvest your funds and initially invest and continue to invest your funds into the project, it just shows how much you guys believe in what you're creating. So I like that. That's impressive to me. So for the scaling aspect on the development side, how do you guys foresee yourselves integrating with things like a central exchange or maybe wallet integration? Is there plans for that? If so, how do you foresee yourselves scaling that? Is there plans on the table for an API coming?
Well, I can answer the central exchange part. We are definitely open to centralized exchanges. I've got connects to lists on things like Hotbit and Gate.io, so it's just a matter of growing as like fund wise and liquidity wise to get to the point where we can safely do that. We do have a whitelist function in our contract, which is rather important for listing on centralized exchanges, right? Because they need the exchange wallet to be whitelisted from the fees.
So for that, I guess I should have been maybe a little more specific with what you guys are able to do with that mempool. Is there plans to help potentially partner with central exchanges to create that, to integrate your tech into what they have? I didn't know if you guys had plans scaling in that direction in terms of partnerships with them. Yeah, that's kind of more the direction I was heading in.
Gotcha. So, that's not something that we thought about, but that's honestly an excellent idea, and perhaps Snowple would be able to elaborate on the technicalities of that a little more.
Okay. So for one more question, and then I'll open it up for the team. I don't want to hog all the questions here. For the trying to figure out how to word this. So I guess I'll tag on a second question about the airdrops. So like the Airdrop Analyzer, can you walk me through how it detects that the airdrop specifically? Is that just because it's going through the mempool? Because I know that the airdrops are a big function for a lot of these projects and scams that come out, right? They end up airdropping a bunch of tokens to themselves at that point.
Yeah, Snowpool, you got a airdrop pulled up right there if you want to.
Yeah, I'm here. So sorry, can you repeat the last question? I was just reading some code.
Yeah, for the airdrops that you guys detect, could you kind of go over that airdrop? Like I see it here. I think it's, what is that, 6 or 7 down. It says airdropped, and then it has that total number. Can you kind of walk us through that like mempool activity for like the airdrops? The buys and sells be self-explanatory, but the airdrops I know are a key function to avoiding scams.
Sure. Rapid, can you explain the logic behind this, please?
He just did in the Discord.
He's not unmuted, by the way. Rapid is one of the lead technical.
He's in charge of the mempool, pretty much.
So team, but he's muted here, so he's just typing in.
Yes, let me know.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Perfect. So about the airdrop, we have some specific methods that we are tracking that are related to airdrops. So when we see one of them like pop up in the mempool, then we can classify it as an airdrop.
Gotcha.
That's basically it.
Gotcha. Is there plans for this to integrate with NFTs?
It's still too soon to tell. We have so much on the roadmap right now, but probably in the future. We have like hundreds, if not thousands, of people currently asking for the tool to work with BNB, which is probably one of our main priorities after the charts are ready. So yeah, probably NFTs would be a possibility in the future, but not something I see happening in Q1.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, like Ryan said, I've been watching you guys as well for quite some time. I am invested. I did take a small position. So
thank you.
I really do appreciate anything that works towards really helping the community at large and really making DeFi a safer space. So thank you guys for creating this, and I look forward to keeping tabs on your success. But I'll go ahead and open it up for the rest of the team to start firing away questions.
Sure.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I just wanted to say I love your product.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. I know you guys are on ETH now, and I'm not trying to rush you or anything, although I did rush and jumped in right away to ask my question to make sure no one asked it before me. But but I wanted to know what the next chain you were going to jump on, because I'm hoping it's BNB, because that's my favorite.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Okay, that's wonderful. Good to hear. Thank you very much.
Yeah. The demand is too high.
Yeah, totally.
Snowball, do you want to explain to them? Because
yeah, so I'm not an expert in
BSC.
those. Yeah, I'm not an expert in those AMAs, so I thought it would be best if I would like present to you what the tool really does to everyone here, and then we can like ask questions as I show it, because what you see in my screen right now is like 1% of what we're actually gonna do. So I leave it up to you guys. If you just want to fire up questions, go ahead. If you want me to make like a 2-3 minutes presentation, I think it might be good.
I'd say go ahead and give your presentation. I know we have a list of questions, but maybe some of them will be answered by that. So,
sure. Okay, everyone is fine with that, or?
Yeah, no, sounds good to me.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so what do we have here? So this is basically the tool that is currently live on the website, the Clairvoyant tool. Currently, we are tracking Saitama Inu, which does not have any developer transactions active right now because it's a very old token. However, you can compare the buy and sells here. You can see like a $96 sell incoming. You would probably see index tool soon. If you will just compare the speed of the buys and sells here into DEX tools, you will see that it can be even up to 2 minutes or 3 minutes faster. And this is, of course, because we are connected directly to the mempool with our own private nodes. with, I would say, 0.01 milliseconds delay and 99.8% accuracy. So not only it's more reliable, it's much more faster for recognizing when the leg up or when the leg down is coming. By the way, I'm sorry for my accent. I'm not from the US. I hope I'm easy to understand. The same thing goes for the developer transactions, mempool again. So if it was like an active contract, you would have seen add liquidity. You would have, in many cases, seen remove liquidity if it's a rug, and some people already managed to front run and remove liquidity, which is pretty cool. Anyway, this just shows the core technology and the stability of the tool, and I would say the speed, and especially if you compare it to the current DeFi tools on the market. But now what we can do with this core technology is what I'm going to show you now. This is what this is going to turn into. So this is a very bad quality image. Let me find the good one. There we go. So this is gonna turn into this. And what do we see here? So we have the common stuff. We have banners, logo, trending. We have buy PLINU, connect, USD. You can change to USD, yuan, GBP, and euro. English and Chinese are available. Just English and Chinese would be available in the first version of this. And you have the search, so you can search by pair, by symbol, by name, by contract. You search it already here. You will see the name of the contract, the dev wallet, if it's a honeypot or not, with a disclaimer that of course says that it's not bulletproof. I would say it's about 85% right at many times. If it's renounced or not, if the liquidity is locked or not, with a link to the liquidity lock in Etherscan, when it was created, the buy and sell tax. So this is just a very fast preview of what, especially I would say, a launch coin trader would want to see right in front of his eyes in one screen. Here you would have the developer transactions, which is moved from the main screen into here, because we do not think this should be the main part of the tool. And for those people who do not even care about developer transactions, they would be able to switch to favorites. And once they switch to favorites, this will of course remain and save, so when they come back to the website, it would stay the same. Another cool thing about the way it's gonna work, so when you gonna switch between tokens, you are not gonna refresh the whole page or reload. Everything is gonna just like, I would say, smoothly go away and come in without a fresh, without a need to refresh the page at all or load another URL. So this is this part. Users rating, which I will explain how it's gonna work soon. It's not as simple as it may look. The name, holders, market cap, total transactions, daily volume, pooled WETH, pooled Saitama, pooled Saitama percent, diluted market cap, circulating supply, total supply, one ETH value, and how much is bound. Each of those would also have tooltips for newbies, so they understand what does it mean. Nothing too complicated there. Here you would have Uniswap iframe with the parameters of the token already inside. So how much you hold, converted into Ethereum. So in the future, we even think to set the inputs to a level that you can, if you see a malicious actions, let's say remove liquidity, this is why I did this on the design. So if you see remove liquidity, it will automatically fill the inputs here. So all you gotta do is just click approve and you are done with higher grade and remove liquidity, potentially improving your chances of front running malicious actions, or even front running leg up or leg down, depending what you wanna use it for. This is banners, nothing too complicated, but I will explain what we're gonna do with banners on the websites because we are seeing a major amount of traffic already coming in. So we had some cool ideas about banners and how we're gonna give back to our investors. I will expand on it later. Here you would have the normal buy and sell, the normal buy and sell chart. By the way, of course, trading view chart and nothing complicated. And here you would have the buy sell. So you can see you have orange lines here. Why do you have orange lines? Those mean pending buys or sales. So you could also see like a clock, and when it would switch, it would be like a quick blink, and it switches to pull. So these pending buys and sells can be up to 2, 3, sometimes even 4 minutes faster than DEX tools, because sometimes in many cases when the gas goes high, very high, like jumping from 200 to 500, many buys and sells are getting stuck because they've put lower gas. So those buys and sell are still not shown in DEX tools or defined or whatever you choose. But if you track the pending, you do see they are incoming. So for this situation, this is amazing because you can just put higher gas than them and just front run all of the queued buys and sells, whatever you're looking to do, with guaranteed success, I would say. Here you would have how many buys and sells he did, nothing complicated. And here we have like a very, yeah. You wanted to say something?
Yeah. I was just curious. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was just curious for the pending transactions when it comes to front running them. Does it show anywhere you can see how much gas they chose to spend?
Yeah. This is actually missing here. Thanks for asking that because I'm sure many asked. You should see the gas as you see it here, like GUI. You would simply see how much GUI you use. You would see it as one of the columns here, basically.
Perfect.
So it's just missing from here. Yes, thanks for asking that. Okay, so I'll continue. And since we have all of this data and we have basically translated 500,000 methods, we can now also determine on a real-time manner, like what is going on. And this is especially good for newbies, but not only, it's also good for lazy experts that do not want to go to Etherscan and refresh and see if it's a buyback, if it's a burn, if developer is selling, if it's a front run buy, if the contract is even protected by front runs, and many more. And since we have all of this data already ready, so what we thought would be cool, so when we notice like the developer is selling, like, hey, look, the developer is selling 65%, and then he can expand and we'll explain to him what is happening. Same for buyback, same for front run. Yeah, this is pretty much it, what's unique about this. So it's not only that we are faster and more reliable, but I want to believe that we are also gonna be much more useful for the newbie trader, for the common trader, and for the expert trader. We will save time, we will save you from rugs, we will help you get much smarter decision, much faster than anyone. We would potentially help you front run malicious actions in many times. Yeah, so this is how we see it. Here we would have, for a few months, we would have like an FAQ of how you can benefit. This is, of course, just placeholders, some meme placeholders, ignore it. So this would be FAQ, like asking how you can make money with PLINU, how you can save money with PLINU, best practices. Here we would have some influencers video. One is showing like PLINU best practices, and again, how to save money with PLINU, how to recognize the leg up, and many guides that could be helpful for the user. We'll probably not keep this in the app page later on. We will keep it only for a few months until people are getting more familiar with the tool, and then we will probably move this into like a directory page of guides and stuff. Yeah, this is it. This is pretty much it.
Okay, if
Snowball.
we can stay on it, I have some questions about it.
Sure.
Yeah. Inside all your tests, how did you validate, or is there a function to validate that anyone can actually sell? Because I can have some whitelisted addresses on my contract, so you will see some sales, but only those ones can sell. Is there a function to allow me to see this here?
I'm not sure if I understood your question correctly. Are you asking how we determine if a pending is success or not?
No. My question is, I can have in some bullshit contracts some addresses that was listed and authorized to do a sell, so I can simulate a sell to trick people who want to invest. But in fact, when I will try to sell after my buy, I won't be able to do it. So is there a function here who allow me to validate that anyone can sell, or it's not?
Honeypot.
Yeah.
You mean a honeypot?
Yeah.
I think you're talking about a honeypot. Yeah, so I couldn't understand a few of your words. So yeah, you're meaning a honeypot.
That's my accent.
I think we have similar accent, my friend. It's okay. I think we have pretty similar accents. It's fine. So you would have is honeypot, and if it tells you no, then this means that you can sell. Yes.
I guess the other thing too is
what you're referring to is called a honeypot in the.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing too is you would probably see a developer transaction early on, whitelisting those addresses. So it would be up there in the top right corner. You would see, hey, the devs, whitelisting some addresses. Maybe it's something I should sell now. It's starting to look a little fishy.
Yeah, I use a tool to check if my contracts are fishy or not fishy, but it's just a point in time. Your is really on real time, so it's a major plus for me. But I do have something who is bugging me. Okay, you have an amazing feature. You are able to see if someone will remove the liquidity pool in real time. You are able to see if a transaction arrive, a sell or buy. And my question is there in your plan, because I searched on the website, I didn't find it, to add a function to automatically sell my position? So if I see that someone is trying to do it, to retrieve the liquidity pool, automatically sell it. So without any action on my side. Okay, that's fantastic.
Yes, this would be a whale feature though. So only whales would have access to those features. So it wouldn't be. We would have two packages basically, like the common package. I would say like the basic package, which would be between 500 US to 1K in PLINU tokens worth, and the whale it's still subject to change, but it would be around 10K US in PLINU token worth. So we do gonna have such front run options as even on almost a completely automatic level that you set rules, and if something happens, it just saves your ass. And
Okay, so in case of this happen, and in case of there is a big buy or big sell, is there the same functionality? I'm just trying to know if I need to invest in K or not.
So absolutely, there are infinite amount of rules, really. Like, so if there is a huge amount of sales, if there is a big dump, if developer is selling, try to sell before him. So eventually, you could set like 100 rules of things that you could set and still not be done with it. We will probably start with the common ones, like if a blacklist is incoming, if removing liquidity is incoming, if like 20% sell of the liquidity is incoming, So we wouldn't cover all of the options, and of course we will add more and more as we go. But yeah, in the beginning, you would be able to front run mainly the malicious actions, I would say, and then we would move on to making money transactions.
Okay, so
more
this
like,
is in development, or this is already available?
No, this is in development. I would say that
Okay,
most
okay,
of what you see here would be live in about 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
If I can make a quick note, because JP, that's a brilliant question, right? The reason everybody, is kind of eyeballing PLINU right now is the technology behind it, right? Like this is the only tool connected to the mempool, and the possibilities are endless, right? So we're the first team to ever really crack this and implement it into a tool for people. This was kind of Snoopel kind of leaked it. That is one of the features that we've been kind of planning and we're going to look into developing. But it's definitely going to be something that we're going to take care of after we deliver on the charts and everything you see in front of you right now. And then we'll look into kind of doing that whole tier system where we have, 2 different tiers and a lot of extra features for like our big supporters. And again, as it should be, right? What you proposed is a really amazing idea. It's kind of like the next level to helping people protect their funds is, I can give you the information for you to sell, or then I can do it for you and really help you and protect you. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, it kind of ties back into that other gentleman's question as far as like selling the technology to central exchanges and stuff. I don't think it's something that we would really sell to central exchanges because it's such a lucrative and such a like groundbreaking tool that there's still
It's
so
an
much we
amazing
can
selling
do with
point.
it. Absolutely. So we plan to take it as far as we can, and you guys are in for a wild ride, basically. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
That
so
was on my side. Now I'm confident that that's really an amazing solution.
Thank you very much, man.
So, cracking my knuckles over here, I have a list. So, you guys are running a node, and you get access to mempool transactions before they show up on Etherscan or DEX tools or what have you, right?
Yep.
All right. So, you're showing dev transactions for the most part, and you're also showing buys and sells.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had to say what your target user base would be, what would that be?
Oh, that's an excellent question. So, as you can see, we have realized that the amount of people that would be interested in the developer transactions is far lower than the amount of people that would be that would be interested in the buys and sells feature. So what we did is pretty much we changed the UI to be more mainly focused for the common trader and the newbie trader rather than the sniper or the bot user, whatever, which is probably most of the, I would say 50% of our users. It's funny, but they are snipers and
Sure.
they're using it for the developer transaction method. So it is what it is, but not that I have anything against snipers, of course.
But small-time snipers
yeah.
that don't have access to their own mempool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
you'd like to attract more sort of run-of-the-mill users, average users, people, obviously.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I would say the average users, and what bothers us the most is like the most commonly used DeFi tools right now are not even, they're connected to the logs, they are not even, this is absurd. Like, I am coming from the high-tech world. I will dox myself in April. I cannot do it yet, but this is absurd to me. Like the standard is taking data from the logs. This is insane. So we really have so many ways to improve, not just by being far more user-friendly, but also being far more reliable and really transmitting the right data. Because right now, if DEX tools fuck up or defined or whatever people are using, for 3 or 4 minutes, it can make you lose a ton of money. Like really, like those 10, 20, 40 buys that you missed can mean a difference of 50% sometimes. You guys know if you trade shitcoin especially. So
Sure.
So we find it like like this is so far superior, and you guys would see how far superior it is. But our goal, our vision would be to attract the common crypto trader with huge capabilities for the shitcoin and launch coin traders and people that are looking for opportunities when to recognize the leg up. You can do it in any coin, not just shitcoin.
Right. So I know,
like, you want to know if the developer is selling in any coin. You know, if the developer is selling, this is like, you know, just,
of course.
yeah.
And I know quite a few people that like to play in the well, you said it, shitcoin space, but
Yeah.
they maybe don't have the technical capabilities of a sniper. So
Yep.
you know, that's kind of what interests me about this tool, and it looks like I've been following you guys for a couple of months now. I mean, you turned me on to it. So before I go any further, though, I have to ask what accent you have. It's driving me up the wall.
Israeli. We are from
Israeli.
Israel. Yeah.
Bloody hell. I would never have guessed that.
People give him French a lot.
Yes, I would have guessed French or French Canadian.
Okay.
Well, my fault. So if you're trying to attract, back on track here, if you're trying to attract the average user who isn't, you know, doesn't have access to his own node, and you're trying to show him what's going on. I pulled up a couple of projects on Clairvoyant here. Is there any plans to sort of translate the functions that were run? Because I see a lot of like 0x's.
Oh,
and
like
then you click on
0x,
them,
yeah.
or relock.
So 0x is like you probably know better than anyone that 0x is an issue of its own, that you get no data basically. So we'll probably switch the 0x's that we cannot translate. You would see many 0x's in contracts such as Saitama, but not in the contracts where you really need the developer transaction feature. You know what I mean? So if you were to track, like if there is a coin that is launching now, let's say, you would see that most of the transactions that you track are like translated properly. The 0x one is untranslatable pretty much.
Right.
So we can write unknown there, but this wouldn't make any difference.
Right.
Because even if you go to Etherscan, you can see that it's unknown basically. And it usually means a transfer to another wallet from our experience, but not always.
Transfer approval. I mean, there is a transfer function you guys are showing. So
yeah.
But
when it's possible.
Are there plans? So if you're targeting sort of gamblers in the shitcoin space, which is fine. It's a target market. This is a huge number of them. Do you guys have plans to make the output more intelligible for the average consumer rather than somebody who's used to reading and parsing the blockchain?
Absolutely, and I'll give a few examples how we're gonna do it. So some of us are SEO and PPC experts. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the term search engine optimization, which is like Google organic promotion, and PPC is pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click, for example, the ads that you see at the top. So three of us are experts in this field, like top experts. So if you look, let's say, for in Google for Piccolo Inu, CoinGecko, whatever, you would get CoinGecko page of Piccolo Inu, right? Like directly into this page. So our intent here is to be the biggest database of all coins in crypto. So whatever you look for, whichever token you would look for, you would get to PLINU website with the chart opens and all of the details of the chart, similar to CoinGecko, I would say, but in a far more sophisticated way. Like CoinGecko is like 10 years behind, like honestly. So yeah, we would rank theoretically, if our strategy would succeed, of course, we would rank on every coin out there eventually. So this is how we're gonna attract the average and common users, basically.
So is that chart going to be updated from the mempool, same as your transactions? Okay, cool. So I heard that you guys were integrating with future chains like ERC20. I'm assuming you're focused on ERC20 compatible chains.
Yeah.
So what kind of order?
So we see ERC20. The next one would be BNB.
Right.
And we'll see after.
So AVAX, Phantom.
Probably it's like it's free money, like you could say. Just pick it up from the floor, yeah. But yeah, we'll probably get there. We have work on BSC. We don't want to make any guarantees on that part. So BSC is something we care about the most right now.
I mean, it was. I'd love to see AVAX and Phantom, but those are just my favorite chains aside from ETH. That's just a personal. If you guys plan any integration,
actually, I kept that in mind. Maybe we'll push it soon.
Okay.
Have you guys? For you, Rex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you guys planned any integration with like contract scanning tools? I saw something about identifying honeypots, but are you guys doing your own contract scanning, or are you integrated with a contract scanner like a SafeShield or a honeypot.is, or any of those tools?
For the honeypot in specific, we are using honeypot.is.
Okay, so you are integrated with them.
Yeah, okay. It depends on which one. Like, so the log tender renounce we take from ourselves or from Moralis. I don't even remember. Rapid can say. The tax and buy, I think we are also taking from honeypot. So it's like a bunch of stuff combined into one user-friendly screen, you could say.
Okay. So the way you tell honeypots is you're using honeypot.is, which is not a bad service.
The Lambda. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's a
good service.
Yeah, it's a good service.
They've worked up their algorithm to figure that shit out. So why reinvent the wheel? I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So my last question is kind of an arbitrary one, but using mempool and the node you're running, how far ahead of Etherscan time-wise would you say is your UI?
It really depends if you count the. So a human being wouldn't refresh Etherscan like every 1 second, or not every 5 seconds. So that alone can be several seconds difference. Like if he's like insane, obsessed, then he would, let's say, mostly refresh every 30 seconds. So here it's every 0.01. And in addition, we are just a bit faster. So even if you were to catch Etherscan exactly when the transaction went into pending, we would still be a bit faster. But it's very hard to measure exactly how much faster.
I was just curious if you could give me, is it seconds or minutes?
Maybe Rapid can say. Rapid, did you ever measure how much faster we are than Etherscan?
Yeah, it's seconds. It could be sometimes up to 30 seconds.
Okay, that's cool though.
And the Etherscan are also kind of fast.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked.
Like the high frequency trading to crypto, except giving that advantage to the masses is the way I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lower latency would be the way of comparing it.
Yeah, I was just curious, like what the latency was, and I think you guys answered it pretty well.
It's almost non-existent.
Non-existent, you could say. Yeah.
If I may chime in, we've got a good friend at Certic here, Fairweather friend. He's got his hand raised. Maybe unmute him.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure, man. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Rex.
Good to have you with us.
Here he is. What's going on there?
Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, Rapid. Hello, Miss. How are you guys?
Shalom. Hello.
2 more days to Shabbat, then I can have a break.
So, yeah, we can barely hear him.
Yeah, your mic
Thank you
is a
for
little
inviting me on. Is this better? Is this better?
a little bit.
Not really.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
All right, bear with me. I'm in China right now, so the firewall is something fierce. Yeah, my name is
Oh no.
and I'm the international director of business development for Certic International, and I'm pretty excited to see a launchpad and a utility that actually is based on fair play, because not very many of them exist in the marketplace. And Havam has kind of told me a lot about, gave me some of the back end on the project, and I've been listening intently, and I'm pretty excited. I think you guys have done really good work. It's laid out really well, but more importantly, it's pretty transparent. It puts a lot of tools right in front of both the early consumer or experienced consumer and also the project leads. So the project seems pretty bullish to me. I would love to.
Thank you so much, man.
discuss.
Thank you so
I would
much.
love to discuss some more of the details, and it's really in line with the values of the security values of what our company offers. That's why I think this is a tremendous project. I think it should be on everyone's scope, because everyone has kind of forked the basic, launchpad, but never provided, things that people look for, like statistics, trending, upfront, way to face the project properly. And as Rex was alluding to earlier, you guys are probably going to be able to provide interface that can allow users to not be intimidated to seek and use, make it a little bit more friendly than, like, for example, DEX tools, So I'm pretty excited about all of what I've heard for the last 30 minutes. I've been in and out of meetings all morning, but yeah, it looks really good. The front end looks really good. Usually what Havam says, it's a cool thing, you should hop on. Let me check it out. It really is a cool thing, So
thank you so much, man.
Spirit of, like, it's really
Yeah, it means a lot.
Well, I call it like it is. The proof is in the pudding. So I'd love to talk to you guys more in detail later on. I mean, you guys have a room full of people, but I'd like to get on a bigger AMA at some point with you guys to talk about the ins and outs of this project. And
for sure, man. We would love
That'd be
that.
lovely.
So gotta thank Hobby for putting me on here. I wouldn't have known. So it's
Let's fucking go.
DeFi's good. For sure.
Let's fucking go, man.
So
hey guys,
talk about getting it.
I've got a couple
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. No, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a couple of follow-up questions. One is, I noticed in your roadmap you mentioned staking. That gets me excited. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Hobo?
Let's see. Let me take a look. That roadmap is slightly out of date. We are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that, Hobby?
Sure.
Can I add something to that about the staking?
Yeah.
The way this so far that I've looked at DeFi Angels, the way it's laid out, you should really be excited probably about staking because of the high probability that you'll be able to stake auto aggregating stables. So that's again goes back to what Rex said too earlier about getting on other chains. The technology has come along a long ways now, where I've seen in the last month a lot of, like, real high APR stables that you can integrate into your pairing and farming. So I'm sure that from what I've seen so far from DeFi Angels that's coming, where you can pair and stake onto or peg onto, like, APR aggregating stable tokens, as well as whatever other assets you're going to. So I can kind of see the big picture from what I was listening to, and the questions that Rex had asked earlier. You kind of puts the whole thing together. So I'm going to ask you, Hoppy, is that something that's going to be coming along? Is being able to stake and pair with APR aggregating stable tokens as well?
Yeah, it's something on our radar. For sure. It's
For sure.
it's on the roadmap. It's something that's on our radar, but it's definitely
Sure.
not priority, right? Because the
Oh,
whole
for sure.
the whole scope of everything of PLINU is protecting investors and the tool and stuff. Like that's basically what
Absolutely.
we're all about. I mean, again, kind of once we
Absolutely.
scale and to incentivize holders, we'll bring
Sure.
that on board. But
Oh, yeah.
short term, I don't think it's anything that we'll be looking to integrate. But
Yeah.
definitely long term.
Wagon
Yeah,
before
yeah.
can't put you got to put the horse before the wagon. So totally
Absolutely.
understand.
Indeed,
But that's
indeed.
exciting. I think I can see all the utilities here, and Snowfall. I've seen some of your other work, so I'm pretty excited to. I know a few of the other Israeli developers that are on the side of DeFi. So I know
Mhm.
someone that actually knows you from Meta Eagles Club. So he spoke highly of you as well. So yeah, they're from Tel Aviv. So
Oh yeah,
so
amazing.
yeah. So it's a
Oh
small world, a
shit!
big world.
Don't dox me yet, man. Don't dox me.
No, I won't. But that's a
Okay.
big NFT project, and maybe I can direct some of those other projects from that side of the world to this launch pad, because it sounds pretty amazing. We really need better choices. Things that won't end projects before they start. So I'm not going to list any names, but
Yeah,
I will say that
absolutely.
I'm pretty excited about this. Yeah. So
I'm
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there with our friend from Certic, and what you guys have built here. I kind of think of it as truly leveling the playing field. In terms of market timing, it's I commend you for pretty much trying to stay in stealth mode during this time, but we'll see how long that really lasts, because the value that you guys are bringing to the space, I mean, for me, just a complete user experience, to be able to educate people and to look at the back end of a blockchain to understand this. It's going to do. I have high hopes for it. I don't know what that was, but
Sounded like a sick car.
yeah. But I just wanted to ask real quick: does anybody on our committee have any closing questions?
I have a
Yeah, did
follow-up
your
question.
coin have any audits already?
Hold on. Let's sorry, Tanner, I didn't mean to cut you off. I know that Lady Crypto was in the midst of a question prior to kind of being like just like, I don't know, in front run in a way. I'd like for her to finish asking her question, and then we can kind of start tearing off with A, and then Tanner as well. Sorry, Tanner, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just kind of want to make sure that everyone that was interested in speaking gets the opportunity to speak without, like the joke I made earlier, front run.
Okay. Yeah, lady. She's-
Oh, your mic sounds like it's having
cutting
issues.
off.
It was A. Go ahead, A.
Yeah, it was me. You were talking about some additional development work you were doing on the project, and I mean, this is really exciting for me for many reasons. But given kind of the broad appeal of what this tool provides, I mean, it really is kind of a DEX tools on steroids, right?
Yeah.
It would be, have you thought about personalization for the page? So you talked about favorites, and you talked about the boxes, kind of the interface. Are there going to be options for kind of picking the boxes you want to see or don't want to see, or being able to see multiple tokens at the same time? Really making it even more user friendly.
Probably, yes. You want a dynamic dashboard. This is something we have in mind. It's not as simple as it may sound. It's very complicated to do it properly, especially if you want to take into consideration mobile. But I'm sure we would have it. But this is not something we are gonna look at. Surely not in Q1. Probably not in Q2 as well.
Okay. And then I see, you have the trending list on top. I'm assuming that's the DEX tools trending, right?
Yeah.
is there any idea about partnerships with tokens or having a safer, like already quote unquote approved safe tokens list, since you've already got some of these contract, scan type functions?
As in which contract is safe to ape in, you mean?
Yeah, something like that.
It doesn't really work like that, because maybe we could make a list like of safe contracts, you could say, like this as a content material, but it's not like you have a list here of safe contracts. But it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think that brings up a very good idea. I mean, when you say that, that kind of makes me think of, like Snowball was saying earlier, with the SEO capabilities that this team has, and making Pluto Inu the engine that comes up when you search for a token. Perhaps we could implement sort of like a CMC dynamic to it as well. Where we kind of offer that list of vetted tokens, although CMC has.
It's honestly very simple. Sure, we could do it. Actually, it's good. It's good SEO material. So sure, we would make.
Yeah, I mean the whole thought around continuing to legitimize the DeFi space and grow it and bring in traditional investors, is really to convince them that this is safe and show them, really give it to them on a silver platter.
Yep, we absolutely agree with you 100%.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the work you've done. I love that there's already a product that we have our hands on, and that, goes a long way for building trust in your team. So I've been playing with it. I really like it.
Thank you very much. Working day and night. But we enjoy working.
Thank you. I have to ask a question for one of our members, Lady Crypto. She had to step away. She wanted some clarification on how much you have to hold in order to use Clairvoyant. She wants to know if you need to have $500 to $1,000 worth of the product, then what happens when the token price rises, and why would smaller holders be incentivized to want to buy and hold if they're priced out of using the technology?
So I had touched on this earlier. Basically, the price is going to be dynamic as far as the amount of tokens, because that's what we want to avoid, right? Is having the small investor being priced out of the tool. So, and it all depends, right? I mean, today we hit a new all-time high. The chart is as bullish as ever. We've got like 100 more TGP members. So obviously the growth is going to be very quick. And so already we've kind of, promised the community, hey, originally it was going to be 300 billion tokens, but of course, as we scale up, we're going to scale the amount of tokens down and keep it between that $500 to $1,000 range, so that everybody can use the tool, and it kind of ties in with our vision, which is why we stepped away from so much the developer wallet scanner and kind of encompassing charts and everything. Is we want to appeal to everybody, and that includes, the professionals, the whales, the snipers, the newbies, the, average weekend trader. It's going to be for everybody. So absolutely, it's going to be scaled down so everybody can afford it and benefit from it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we get closer to the February 6th, deadline where the tool won't be free to use anymore, we'll monitor it and kind of adjust it accordingly. The last time, Hobo and I spoke, it was around 300 billion tokens. But I think it'll probably go down a bit because we're already looking to shatter the all-time high.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, keeping it in the price range of typical investors is something that's very important to us. And we're not going to build this platform to help newbies and pros alike if, newbies can't even buy it.
We will, however, extend significantly the free trial once the charts go live, as we want to give at least 1 month for people to really see how far superior Pluto Inu is to anything else before we make it that you have to hold the Pluto Inu tokens.
No, it's interesting you guys bring up the dynamic price. I've seen so many other projects just keep their accessibility pegged to Ethereum, and they literally create price ceilings for their asset. So it's highly encouraging to understand, for you guys to understand, the actual growth strategy of your asset itself. So I appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the benefit of having a tool that was created by traders. I mean, everybody on the team is a trader. That's how we started in crypto. And so it's one of those things, like, we've witnessed all these companies and, Dex tools, all these teams, they don't trade. So they don't know what we want. They don't know what we need. They don't understand, oh man, originally Dex tools, you had to hold like $10 worth of tokens for their premium or something when they launched, and now it's like 500. So yeah, that's, absolutely what we want to achieve.
Well, I appreciate it a lot. This was very insightful, regarding what you guys have planned for the future, and giving us a little bit of hints regarding your team. Almost got doxxed, so that was pretty interesting. So I'm sure everybody's already I'm sure everybody's searching around the web looking for what the hell Meta Eagle Club is. But I'm joking, by the way. But no, it was fantastic to have you guys here. But politely, I'm now going to ask you guys to leave, and we are going to sit back and discuss as a group whether or not we are going to move forward with adding you to be one of our investment selections. Obviously, you can tell you're highly favored, but in just to give us the distance to be able to talk amongst ourselves, and I really appreciate you guys coming out.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's been a real pleasure, and we really hope to show the product to as many people as possible. Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for attending here. It's been a pleasure.
Not a problem. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Michael. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. Yeah.